Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Now Stock Trades. Hope everything is doing good. Happy Sunday, guys. All right, so this video is going to be packed with some really cool stuff here. So we're going to be talking about this Medicare Advantage video, as well as we're going to cherry pick some important things from this article here. And for folks that are interested in this article, I'm going to go ahead and drop it down into the comments section below here, so folks can go ahead and take a look at it, or you can just kind of like just type Medicare Advantage chaos. Take this and kind of go here, and then you'll be able to find the article here, guys. It was published a day ago. Shout out to the stock terminal, our stock terminal, for finding this, specifically Rabdo trades here. I appreciate you. We got some comments here, which I just noticed, but we're going to go ahead and cherry pick a couple of things that I've discussed on here, a couple of sentences and whatnot, and watch the video, as well as, I guess, maybe look at some of these comments here. Show more of the comments. MA plans also offer $0. Yep, it was up in the article. Good job, Greg. Yeah, well, we'll see if that has any value, but we're going to talk about the clarification real quick on what happened on Twitter. We're going to exit this, talk about kind of the year to date. 9% for UnitedHealth overall, 25% down on Humana, and then 14% down on Clover here. But first things first, just real quick here. So I got some feedback regarding kind of the video I made yesterday regarding, hey, don't really involve yourself in drama. I tried to be clear with the video. I think I did my best here. I labeled the video as kind of Reddit page drama, and I akined it to an article I posted back on November, looking at the put to call ratio, and I felt like this was helpful. And a lot of you guys liked the video, and I saw that many of you guys stayed on and watched it, so I thought it was helpful. But yeah, I mean, no one really wants to talk about drama, but whenever you see me put drama in the title, if you don't want to hear about that, yeah, I don't recommend watching. But we want to, somebody asked me, one of the subscribers said, hey, can you make a video about the drama? I don't know what's going on. So all right, fine, we'll go ahead and do that. But another piece of information is I wanted to apologize for the mix-up. I went ahead and deleted the post on the Reddit page, but one of our members retweeted about Clover Home Health or something, Clover Health Homes, or so it was a different business. It wasn't Clover Health. So I went ahead and apologized, and one of the individuals here, I don't know if he was like trolling me or not. I ended up giving him the suicide hotline. Again, everyone, and I want to make like a public announcement. Anyone who's experiencing thoughts of like harming themselves, like, there's always help and there's always time, right? And there's that's not the answer, right? So but ultimately, I do want to, like, he does bring up a good point in the beginning. I just kind of was a little confused by this comment here regarding where pumpers go to die. I was kind of scared about that. And like, when the nightmare ends soon. Hopefully he's just trolling me. But again, don't do it, right? So overall, if we want to go ahead and answer this question regarding the profitability metrics. So originally I stated profitability from 2024 to 2025, but then I said, 2026, given that the Federal Reserve is going to be extending their cuts, extending the rates of higher interest rates. So I think by like 2026, interest rates are going to be really low. But overall, guys, the whole like credibility thing and the whole kind of analysis is, retail investors, when the stock is low, they're not happy. When the stock is high, they're overly happy. It's just kind of like a cycle. And it's just, we're experiencing this cycle together. And then once like the stock rebounds and becomes profitable, turns on growth machine, and then free cash flow negative companies start trading at price to sales ratios of 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then like, people are going to say, why are you selling? Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It works the opposite way. And, I've been through these cycles multiple times, but it's actually really nice that you got, in the future, these videos are going to serve as kind of like, people are going to revisit them, and they're like, wow, I wish I was watching these videos, and I wish I saw kind of, this company and all the other companies transitioning from negative to positive free cash flow. So overall, that's kind of, I wanted to just take some time to address this because I felt it's necessary. So now let's go ahead and talk about this video here. So let's unshare the screen here and let's go here, and we're going to go ahead and talk about this here, but actually this one here, but also just in response to Brandon, I know you're my lovely troll. I recommend looking at the annual report that we published. Our picks are actually doing well, and people in the Lifetime and Stock Terminal group can vouch for our picks. Our picks have done really well. So that is incorrect. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to call you out on that one. But overall, let's go ahead and watch this video because I think it's going to be very helpful for the community. And we're going to go ahead and pause it and talk about it here. Okay.
If you're enrolled in a Medicare Advantage plan, it is time to decide if you want to make a change to your coverage. Medicare Advantage enrollees can switch plans or transfer to traditional Medicare during the open enrollment period ending in March. Here with the details on what you need to know is Yahoo Finance's Carrie Hannon. Carrie, walk us through the checklist.
Oh, hi, Akiko. Yeah, this is important. It's not just cranky people who are switching plans. Studies have shown, a recent one I looked at, that, people, more than 50% of people tend to change plans within 5 years after they sign up.
Okay, so this lady here, I would honestly love to interview her on our channel here. So I probably need to get her name and send her a message. She'll be a great resource to bring. But overall, she cited a study that said that 50% of seniors changed their plan after 5 years, right? And she's going to explain to you why they changed their plans after 5 years. But I just wanted to basically say this. I need you to if you didn't register it, I needed you to register it. 50% of people after 5 years on a Medicare Advantage plan, they tend to change their plan. So there's like a 5-year recyclement period. Okay, let's continue with the video.
Generally going to another Medicare Advantage plan. And I should note that 51% of the Medicare population, those 65 and over, now are in these Medicare Advantage plans. And the incentive there is, that they have no or low premiums, and they offer kinds of extras that you don't get from traditional Medicare, like vision, dental, maybe a gym membership. But what's happening is, as people get older, when you first sign up for your Medicare Advantage plan, there's a set of providers that you can go to. And so this is the issue. People are switching because they're looking for their doctors, and you're restricted on what doctors are in your network. So the ones you...
Okay, so this is like ding, 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 ding. Okay, ding, 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 ding. All right, so did you hear what she just said? She just said basically that the problem with these Medicare Advantage plans is that the patients are restricted and they're trying to get to their doctors, but the Medicare Advantage plan doesn't give them the option to do that because it's HMO versus PPO. And what is Clover Health's flagship model? It's PPO. How PPO? Okay, why is PPO better? Because the patients are able to basically pick the doctors that they want. And she just basically stated that every 5 years, about 50% of folks transfer onto a different Medicare Advantage plan because they're trying to get into the doctor that they want. But hey, Clover Health has its own PPO plan, which means you get to choose the doctor that you want. Problem is, PPO plans are more expensive. How is Clover Health able to essentially afford this? Well, there's something called the Clover Assistant, which apparently no one likes to talk about, right? So let me go ahead and go through the comments, and then we're going to go back and forth. Like I said, this is going to be a very good video, guys, okay? So do you think Humana has more downside? For me, the intrinsic value shows it's undervalued. What do you say? So do you have the intrinsic value on our end, the mastering? If not, if you do, go on our mastering lifetime chat. Go ahead and post what the numbers that you put on the mastering intrinsic value, and we'd love to see it. Woohoo, I never make the lives. Glad to be here. Hey, how you doing, GP? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So again, I'm going to go ahead and repeat it, okay? I'm going to repeat this, okay? 50% of people, they go ahead after every 5 years, they transfer into a different Medicare Advantage plan because they feel restricted, because they're trying to access the doctors that they want. Unfortunately, HMO plans don't do that. So they have to find the right HMO plan that covers their doctor. And then all of a sudden, let's say a disease pops up because we know chronic kidney disease, heart disease, et cetera, disease happens. And, senior populations deal with approximately 3 to 4% plus of chronic diseases. Well, then a new excuse my language, a new provider comes online and that provider is out of reach. And that really pisses me off that the patient basically can't choose their own provider, right? It's like not, doesn't give power to the patient, but again, PPO plans do, right? So this is actually really good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of restart what she said because I'm giving you my background, and then now let's go ahead and listen to it with kind of that.
No or low premiums, and they offer kinds of extras that you don't get from traditional Medicare, like vision, dental, maybe a gym membership. But what's happening is as people get older, when you first sign up for your Medicare Advantage plan, there's a set of providers that you can go to. And so this is the issue. People are switching because they're looking for their doctors, and you're restricted on what doctors are in your network. So the ones you initially sign up for are not necessarily still there, or the ones you need as the years go on. As you get older, you might need a specialist, you might need some more doctors, you might develop, chronic illnesses in some way. And those providers, you have to get special authorization. And that can
Okay, you might develop chronic illnesses. No. There's a high probability that you will develop chronic illnesses. It's just the way of life, especially as we age. The big thing that she basically talked about, which I'm going to hit later on in the video, is that the difference between traditional Medicare and Medicare Advantage is that Medicare Advantage offers dental, vision, even some gym memberships, and even some basically food stipends. And another thing that Medicare Advantage offers over traditional Medicare is that there's no monthly premium. It's $0, right? So that's really attractive for people. Okay, let's continue.
can take forever, or it can be rejected. So the people I talk to often feel they're trapped. So this is your opportunity to say, okay, I can look around and I can see if the doctors I need to go to are in a new plan, Medicare Advantage plan, or you can go back to traditional Medicare right now. And again, that is terrific in the sense that you have no restrictions on your medical and healthcare providers, but there are some extra costs involved there that you need a Medigap policy, it's called. And here's the caveat that makes that a little tricky, is that a Medigap policy, when you first enroll in Medicare, they have to approve you for this extra coverage, regardless if you have a pre-existing condition. But after 1 year, if you switch back from Medicare Advantage to Medicare, if you've made that decision, they no longer have to. So you might not get the ability to get one of these plans if you have a pre-existing condition. Doesn't mean you won't, it just could be a problem. So it really is important. I think the main issue is trying to take control of your Medicare, your medical care. And Medicare Advantage has some great incentives there to do so, but this is your time a problem. So it really is important.
So I went ahead and just wanted to replay this for you guys. So I just wanted you to see this growth of the total Medicare Advantage plans. Clover Health became online back in 2014, 2015. They saw this growth and they were able to figure it out that says this growth is going to continue. And if you were to draw a line here, it is going to continue and start stabilizing probably around maybe 2030, 2035, potentially 2040. But you can guys see here that these are the plans here, and Medicare Advantage is not going away. Now, Mayo Clinic doesn't take Medicare Advantage plans, and I think it takes only a little bit, but majority of plans it doesn't. And a lot of hospitals are starting to kick back these plans, especially for Humana, because these hospitals are losing money because these insurance plans are not covering basic necessities, and they're basically causing the hospital to lose a lot of money. And that's ultimately going to be changing in 2026 because the Centers of Medicare and Medicaid, CMS, is basically going to create some new rules that will put pressure on private insurance companies that will help doctors deal with this issue regarding privatized insurances. But the thing is, what we're headed to in America is that I do believe, because I see this trend, I do believe we are heading towards a privatization of insurance companies, given that the private company is always going to do better than traditional Medicare. And ultimately, a lot of lobbyists are basically, including, some company that we like, right, is essentially doing so in a way to make it favorable for them to operate in the United States. And what's going to end up happening is I do believe Mayo Clinic and a lot of the top leading institutions and hospitals are going to have to start pivoting because the majority of Americans are going to end up doing Medicare Advantage plans. And we already are starting to see different hospitals create their own Medicare Advantage plans, such as Banner, et cetera, et cetera. So overall, guys, we're starting to see this trend here. And I do believe that, traditional Medicare will be a thing of the past. And I do believe that Medicare Advantage will be the leading plan in the future. We're talking, 15, 20 years into the future. And, again, guys, this is healthcare. This healthcare is boring, right? But healthcare, really, if you look at United Healthcare's return over its inception versus Apple, you can see that United Healthcare has brought by crazy amount of returns that destroy all of the Magnificent Seven's returns, right? And also the returns off of the FANG, right? So healthcare is healthcare. Everyone gets sick, right? And ultimately, this is definitely, for me, in my opinion, the place to be. And again, not financial advice, just sharing with you guys what I'm seeing here, right? So with that, analyzing this here and looking at this trend and, talking about how, healthcare companies and hospitals are going to ultimately pivot, and a lot of lobbyists basically making Medicare Advantage plan the plan. We already also are starting to see Vivek Gurdapelli, I think his last name is, the former CEO of Clover, his predictions are starting to come true in regards of the incumbents starting to feel the pressure of increased medical cost, and that their incumbent model system is actually have started to fail them. And they usually have the healthy people offload the expenses of the sick people. But now that you have more sick people that have multiple chronic diseases, well, the healthcare medical costs actually start increasing, which makes the incumbents scramble right now. And also in 2026, you're starting to see that now they're going to have a limited time in basically creating pre-authorization plans, making them, they have to respond to them faster, et cetera, et cetera. So ultimately, I do believe this crunch of the Humanas of the world, the United Healthcares of the world, is going to allow a lot of these smaller insurance companies to thrive. That's why you're starting to see, Alignment Healthcare Group, Oscar, Clover Health. You're starting to see these small players come in because they smell disruption. And I believe that disruption is going to be in the Medicare Advantage plan. And, you are seeing the data right before your eyes, including this one of these graphs in front of you on your computer screens, phone screens, et cetera, iPad screens, which is showing you this general trend line, right? And I do think this disruption is happening right before our eyes, given the past 2 quarters of the incumbents, and given why all of the larger healthcare stocks are down, and the ones that are doing well, like, for example, Oscar, year to date, it's up 48%. On a year, it's up 300%. So we are getting to the thesis is starting to play out. It's just Clover needs to get to that positive free cash flow, positive net income cycle, right? So let's go ahead and let's go back to what this lady is saying, and then let's continue.
I think the main issue is trying to take control of your Medicare, your medical care, and Medicare Advantage has some great incentives there to do so. But this is your time if you don't want to get locked out of using those physicians, those specialists you need, and you're a little upset about your network. Now's your time to take action. We are going to see some changes coming up. New rules came down in January, starting in 2026. Authorizations by Medicare Advantage are going to have to speed up so people have a better idea of what coverage they can get.
Exactly. And this is the pressure that Vivek was talking about, how people from the way up now are creating rules from CMS that in 2026, we're going to start seeing the crunch on the incumbents and medical costs start to increase. Let's continue.
Okay. Some good tips there. Carrie Hannon, as always, thanks so much for that.
All right, so let me go ahead and let me unshare the screen so I can share the normal screen here for you guys. All right, so if you like this video, give it up with a thumbs up, guys. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. All right, so overall, you're already starting to see hospitals take out these Medicare plans, especially in the California region and a little bit in this area here. Whoops. And let's go ahead and move on to this one here. So overall, let me just kind of make this a little bigger for you guys here. Okay, so we already talked about MA plans versus traditional Medicare plans. But traditional Medicare is around $174 a month versus Medicare Advantage is $0. Also, Medicare Advantage can offer other incentives such as like dental, vision, etc., gym. Now, this is a great to show you kind of the growth of original Medicare versus traditional Medicare. You can see the growth rate from 37, 39, 42, 45, 48, 50. And you can start to see that overall it's from 63, 61, 58, 55, 52, 50. You could start seeing that the growth is starting to basically change and the penetration of MA plans is increasing, right? To a point now we're in an inflection point where MA plans are going to most likely be the predominating factor over original Medicare. Okay. And then, by the way, doctors are pissed off at this. Okay. Which is why I like Clover, because they put the doctor first, right? All right. So let's go ahead and let's see what else I put here. So we already talked about prior auths. Yeah, and also PPO plans. If you don't recall a graph I put regarding the growth of PPO plans, I think PPO plans are going to start growing year by year. That's the ultimate general trend line. The problem is, can the incumbents be able to offer PPO plans given that their medical cost ratio is already increasing, or medical loss ratio, whatever you want to call it, is increasing to a point where, it's off of the HMO. Imagine what would be the cost if it was PPO. It'll be chaos, right? So, yeah, so I hope this video is helpful. Let's go ahead and. So when reverse split for the price pump, Clover has a large shelf with over 49 million shares ready to be liquidated and increase their OS. Sorry, can you, what is, outstanding shares? Maybe, I mean, yeah. This is just mathematical semantics that equates to the same, it's all about the fundamentals, right? And I do believe there is a market here for Clover to dominate. And given that their flagship PPO model has industry leading MCR rates of 79 to 82%, which we've been basically, saying like the Pledge of Allegiance every single day. I think it's very clear that even a Blue Cross Blue Shield guy ended up deleting his message, even commented and almost was accusatory, he was accusing them of doing something bad, right? But they are doing something. They're taking care of their patients, right? So, all right, guys. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know how you liked the video. And I hope this was very good. And I'll see you on the next one.